Yo, what up guys, Corey Sammy and Sandhagen here, coming off of a big win. Let's talk about the fight, kind of how I was thinking going into the fight. The things that Figueiredo did super nice, which is like that turning uppercut, which was super slick. A couple of the head outside shots that he did really well. And then of course the finish on my end, and then kind of what I was looking for in the striking areas. Video is sponsored by Aries. Thanks a lot for the sponsorship. Peace, let's crack into the video. All right, yo guys, okay, so let's talk about the first thing, which is gonna be the things that Figgy did really well. All right, just to give him some flowers first, because he did do some awesome shit. All right, one of them really quickly though is Figgy stands really bladed. Like his leg was damn near like over his other one, it almost seemed like at times, which was just giving me like a ton of the leg kicks, okay? He stands here, he kind of has like this backward stance too, like kind of like an old school like fighting Irish type of look. But what he's doing when he's doing this is it almost completely takes your lead hand off of the table, kind of, unless you're just gonna like poke with it and stuff. What he's really trying to do is just sit down hard on the backhand or on the back leg and the backhand. We've talked about this a number of times on these types of videos. When I'm loaded, like I'm like getting ready to throw a javelin or something, I can really launch this right hand super hard. So that's the way that Figgy stands. But again, he was like way like this, even more than I anticipated. So the leg kicks were super available for me, and that's why I went there over and over and over again. The other thing about Figgy that he did that was actually really awesome, and I'm glad I didn't get hit super hard with, was when we were tied up against the cage. Elias, can I use you real quick? When we were tied up against the cage, I'll be Figgy, you'll be on a single. He had a whizzer on this side, which made it so that I didn't control the tangle, okay? So if we switch just real quick. If I don't have Figgy's arms tangled up and we're close, I'm in a little bit of danger, okay? When he's whizzering me, he's tangling me, but he can let go anytime and start to do stuff with his hands, which was definitely like a little bit dangerous for me. So what Figgy did is he was in on a single, he had a whizzer, hands broke, or I didn't have my hands locked because I was trying to punch him, but his hands were like this. He took this hand, scooped really quick, boom, and like threw a really good uppercut. Like that was sick. I'm definitely stealing that one from him. I got kind of lucky, honestly, in that the shot when he turned me kind of just hit me here. It didn't hit me on the face, so thank God it didn't hit me on the face. Another really good thing that Figgy did is on a lot of these shots, stand righty. When I got too close, he was really good at the dump. Like the first one that he shot was super powerful. He grabbed in on a single, was really tight, stepped through here and threw really hard down. That was a really awesome takedown. The second one I defended a lot better. I tried to put his head on the inside, so if Elias goes head outside, boom. I tried to start to move his head to the inside so I could defend just normal and pick up here, okay? But when we got there and I tried to move this in, he let go with this arm, I believe, went up to my head and then sat me like this, which was super good on Figgy's part. So some flowers to give to Figgy because he did do some really awesome stuff. I just came out the winner that night. Let's talk about the 50-50 exchange, because that was obviously a really big deal in the fight. It's what won me the fight. So is the camera set up good? No. All right, cool guys. So the first thing is, let's like just get to the bottom of leg locks in MMA, okay? Because some people say that they're useless, some people say that they just put you in trouble, and other people like live and die by them. So let's talk about my opinion about them, which I'm pretty sure is the right one. So if Elias has me in a leg outside or a heel outside, so there's types of heel hooks, right? Or like types of leg entanglements. This is outside, okay, because my leg is on the outside of all his stuff. This is the inside of him. Okay, so outside heel hooks, inside heel hooks, okay? Outside heel hooks they work like this, one sec. They work like this, to where you're trying to spin my foot this direction, like this, okay? I was gonna make a stupid foot OnlyFans joke, but I decided not to because I couldn't think of a good enough one. But take a gander, guys. But no, okay, so spinning my foot like this is like a lot harder to hurt Elias than if I spin it like this, okay? Like it moves him. I would much rather get my knee popped going this direction than going this direction. There's something just really gnarly about this type of way of spinning someone's knee, which is really not good. Figgy went for outside heel hooks, okay? Which means, yeah, let's go this side. Which means he's trying to spin my foot like that, okay? This is not intimidating, especially if we're both like sweaty and stuff. Like this is super hard to get. You have to be really, really tight here. You have to have all of this like really tangled and me stretched out in order to even have an idea of being able to create enough leverage to actually hurt my knee, okay? Another important note for defending these guys is if you are an MMA guy or a jiu-jitsu guy just in general, learn how to play these positions in the pocket instead of always feeling like you have to kick and run from them all the time. You can win by playing in the pocket, you just have to practice enough. So when Figgy got me here, I didn't panic. He even had his leg reaped over. This is reaping. This is illegal in jiu-jitsu or some jiu-jitsu competitions because it does turn your knee weird. Most of the time they have to like be on your hip, which is a stupid rule to me, but that's like the rule or whatever. But he was reaping, and even here, it's not even that dangerous. If I keep my weight forward and don't turn into a little bitch and go to run away, I'm safe, okay? Elias tries to attack. If I just keep my leg in like a pretty good, strong line, I'm usually good, okay? Figgy started to turn me a little bit. I kind of had to turn with him some, but as long as my hip, my knee, and my foot are kind of staying in a line, I don't ever feel super in danger. If my hip is way over here, my knee is over here, and my heel is over there, I definitely don't like this. But when I'm in these spots, I can kind of find where everything is going to be in a line, and that's really hard for Elias to hurt me on an outside heel hook if all of my stuff is in a line. Again, if I'm like this, where my hip is way back, my knee is over there, and this is here, I don't like this. If I'm like this is a little bit better because again, everything is in a line like this. I can obviously just sit back and punch. He really had me in some spots too. It was more like this, but like even this isn't intimidating again because all of my stuff feels strong here and it's in a line. I'm not like off to the side. I'm not like falling. Everything is in a line and I just be strong and powerful here and I engage all of this and I'm safe, okay? So that was the staying safe part on the outside heel hooks. I think outside heel hooks are ass for MMA, okay? They're just not a good idea. They're too hard to finish. Feet get slippery and wet and it's too hard to like get enough of a bite on a heel in order to finish the, like actually tear someone's shit and make it really hurt. So they're just really not good for MMA. Inside heel hooks are really good for MMA. That is either 50-50, which is this position, which we'll talk about in a sec, or here, which is saddle, which is the same because he's gonna try to spin my heel like this, still on the inside. His legs are just on the inside of mine instead of on the outside, okay? These are not ass, all right? These are really good. These are thick booty. No, let's not say that. Sorry. I haven't slept much the last couple of days, so my jokes really suck. More than they usually typically suck. But anyways, okay. So when I finish these, like, one, it's way easier for me to get a bite on his heel because this is easier to make have happen when I'm in MMA, okay? I went for this and it was like just too slippery and I'm not like good enough yet at like clamping down and like being strong as fuck, which I'm gonna work on. But being here, I need to like lock and connect everything to my body in order for me to do this. And even when I did, because it was fairly tight when I did go for this, it started to slip, and then this happened. The thing about using leg locks in MMA is you have to assume that you're not gonna get it, okay? That's a really important thing. If you assume that you're not gonna get it and you could just use it to get on top, it's a good idea. And you can protect yourself, which we'll also talk about in a second. But if you're gonna use heel hooks to like be like, no, this is how I finish people, and if I don't get it, then I'm just cool with laying on my back, you're an idiot, okay? Don't do that. Okay, so Elias stands up like how Figgy did. Okay. I keep myself safe just by being really long, okay? And we're in 50-50 here, so we have the same position. I do this by staying really long. Figgy can't hit me. Go to do whatever you would do from here. Like, you can't reach my face. Well, maybe Elias can because his arms are freaky long. But even then, if I make myself really long, it's super hard for Elias to do that, okay? We went down, boom. I went for this, I didn't get this. I was like, all right, we're slippery, we're wet, whatever, just get on top. Don't like be chasing legs like how Figgy did and lost the entire first round off of it. So when I sit up here, let's switch legs so the camera can see. When I sit up here, okay, this is really important, especially if you're just learning MMA or learning leg locks in general. Do not fucking do this, okay? Don't do what Figgy did. Figgy got up with his leg, yes, at a really bad angle, okay? What's happening here is, real quick, is he's essentially just doing this with his leg and seeing how far he can get this close. Some people are freaky flexible and can get really close, but if Elias starts to come up like this, even in like a good situation, this is like really sketchy for him, because if I like whip down, what I'm essentially doing is like shoving this really hard this direction and popping the outside of his knee here, which is what happened to Figgy, okay? So when we're here like this and I go to build up, I keep with that same idea that I want my leg in a line and I want to be strong here, okay? So when I sit up, you see my body positioning isn't like this or like this. It's in a straight line like this. My leg and everything is in a straight line, and I'm coming up like this powerfully. And that's just because I'm using my body in a good way, okay? Opposed to being like this or something weird like that, which is what Figgy did, okay? The actual pop of the knee happened in the exact same way that it happened with TJ. TJ had a little bit more flexibility than Figgy did, like he was able to sit through it a little bit more, but sit up like Figgy, please. I was like, okay, this is like really not a good idea on Figgy's end, but okay, maybe he's really flexible. I made myself really strong by turning my hips and making my legs straight here, and now I'm just gonna make myself powerful. When I got to here, I was like, okay, in training, what I'll usually do is be like, hey, go to your butt or your knee's gonna pop, okay? And they'll be like, okay, and then they'll sit to their butt. But here I was like, okay, Figgy, I guess you're just gonna do this. I hope you have flexible hips. I got here and I whipped this up, boom, and then that's like when the outside of his heel, I heard make a really loud, like a ripping noise, not really even a pop, it was like a rip, which is not the noise that you wanna hear. You'd rather hear a pop. So I was like, okay, that's really not good for him. And then when I just sat up, obviously he was cooked. My leg was still in a really solid positioning. I didn't start to do this. This is not good for my positioning. Again, unless you're like a freaky, flexible guy, don't do it. Just stay like this. I sat up a little bit, boom, just hit him a few times, and then that was the end of the fight, okay? But long story short about all of that, guys, is outside heel hooks are kind of ass unless you're like a mega expert on it, and you're probably not a mega expert on it and don't have the years in you to try to figure out how to become a mega expert on those ones, just because they're really niche and they're just hard as fuck to finish. It'd be like if you went around just like wrist locking everyone. It's like, yeah, cool, neat. Like if you want to get really good at that, you can, but there's a lot of other shit that works better, so just go practice that stuff. One of the things that works a lot better is going to be inside heel hooks in 50-50. If you know how to play those positions, you won't, you like kind of know how to keep yourself like fairly safe. Ryan Hall has obviously a ton of really good instructionals on all of that stuff, so go check out those. But yeah, outside heel hooks, hell no. Inside heel hooks, kind of, but just use them to get up like how I did. And that's how you should use those in MMA. So yeah, that's it. Peace. I love you guys. Let's get this title shot. Let's get a belt this year. Love you. Bye.